G'day everyone. Just finished some more miniatures this week. This project was some more bloody miniatures, which you can see in front of you, and a few miniatures for Silver Bayonet, that Napoleonic themed gothic horror game by Joe McCullough. So first up in front of you, the English Civil War bloody miniatures. Now, let's see if I can get these a bit closer to camera. Or still, no. They're losing focus. I'll bring them forward. So, I'll just drop them back a bit. As always, there will be stills at the end. If my blurry video work doesn't show them up too well, hopefully the stills might give you a better idea. Okay, now these three chaps have had head swaps. Originally, these three figures came with floppy hats or brimmed hats, you know, a bit like this sort of thing. But the customer asked me to chop those heads off and replace them with these helmets, which are quite cool. And yeah, that conversion turned out pretty well. A little bit of chopping, a little bit of drilling, a little bit of green stuffing. Reasonably straightforward. So again, I used my, like I mentioned in a previous video, I used the recipe for blackened armour with the black acrylic ink, plus the Vallejo Express medium over a light grey background, and then follow that up with a blue-black wash, and then matte varnish the whole lot, and then went back with a soft graphite pencil, probably about a 6B, and just put some marks on the edges, so to keep that really blackened look. So I think these three are from the set, they Continental Mercenaries or something. Really nice figures as always. These bloody miniatures, superb sculpts, great fun to paint, full of character. So yeah, I like him. A bit of a twirl. There he is. And there's this chap with his snazzy outfit. Bit of the dark blue and the contrasting with the lace and the red sash and stuff. Very, very smart swordsman. There we are. So that's him. And then there's this chap who's a heavily armoured cuirassier type, obviously dismounted, got his war hammer there. Yeah, so you've got the contrasts there again with the really darkened armour, using the same method, contrasting with the red trousers, the white lacy bits around the collar and the boots. There we are. So yeah, I used some Vallejo Express colour for some of the leatherwork or boots, I think mainly, but I also used the Express medium with some other acrylic inks I had here already, that to get a variety of different shades of browns, for mainly using it for yeah, the boots, the things that are leather, belts and stuff like that. And some of the, and some of the colors, like the reds and the greens, some of the greens I blocked in quickly using either a straight up express color or like an ink with a bit of express medium in it, just to quickly establish a base color, but then it's sort of heavily overpainted anyway after that, but it does quickly block it in prior to putting the washes on. Okay, then we've got these three groups. Technically, I think this is part of this guy's part of the Continental Mercenaries group as well. Another nice buff coated, dual pistol wielding cavalryman. So I'm quite enjoying the dark metal sort of effects. I've mostly been sticking to that, to varying degrees of shininess or darkness. Now these two guys are, I believe they're meant to be pikemen, who are sort of drawn into more sort of hand-to-hand melee. He's got his pike is broken off. He's using it as a shorter stabbing spear. You can see the break there. Yeah, and this chap as well. Yeah, there's some of the buff coats were done using, let me see, where is it? I think I've used a base color of this scale 75 color Iroko. Yeah, Iroko. It's kind of a wood kind of color, but I mean, that's irrelevant. But it's just like, is it the right color for what I'm trying to do? And I think it was a good base for the buff jackets. So what I did is I put this on, and then on the lighter ones, his is a slightly darker one, done with some sort of, I think I might have mixed up a custom sort of contrasty, no, not contrast, express color formula for that one. But yeah, the rest of them were the lighter colored buff jackets. Yeah, this Iroko was the base, and then it would have had my standard sort of murky brown wash, and then back over with this, and then mixing in with this, and up to probably sort of straight buff the, I think I put it back on the paint rack, the Vallejo model color buff, which is quite light. So yeah, so going from this up to that, so which is not a huge jump, but it is, you can see that's quite a lot lighter on the edges and things like that. So yeah, that worked pretty well. It's a good color for that, I found. Yeah, so that's them. Such cool miniatures to paint. Everyone is different, and they're great sculpts. So I'm going to move them to one side. I did initially think of having everything on here together, but I think they're so different in, well, certainly different periods, in inverted commas, because we know that the Silver Bayonet is a slight sort of a historical fantasy, I suppose, but they're still basically historical miniatures. So let's have a look. Here we go. So we've got a classic, how close can we get them? Keep them in focus. That seems okay. The light seems to change from white to yellow. Okay, so we got a, these are the North Star sculpts. They're quite chunky. They're more, real character sort of models. So we've got a dismounted cuirassier, French cuirassier, Looks quite cool. I don't know the background for the Silver Bayonet books, but they all look a bit more sort of bewhiskered. Unusual to see a French cuirassier with a full, what looks like a full beard to me, but and they also seem to be carrying a lot of, I guess, to ward off, I don't know, vampires, werewolves, whatever. I don't know the story. There's a lot of crosses and things like that, either silver ones or wooded ones and that sort of stuff. Sometimes extra weapons and then we've got a old guard grenadier. He's got his pipe, so he's managing to puff away on his pipe. So I've got the earlier style marking on the top of the bear skin rather than the later grenade that was there. Some of these miniatures do seem like they might be earlier on in the Napoleonic Wars. It's hard to tell. They're a bit of a mix, really. So yeah, I like the way that greatcoat turned out, and just, you know, the contrast of that light and dark like that. It's pretty cool. Oh, the basis for these, and for a lot of my the bread bags and even his buff trousers there, I used another light color. I didn't use Iroko this time. I used another good alternative, which is this paint, which has the unpleasant name of decomposed flesh. Probably appropriate for Silver Bayonet, but yeah, it's a great color. Another excellent that light beigey color or whatever, I don't know, sandy color. It's a good base for, you know, and then I just mix in a bit of off-white or deck tan or something to lighten it up, that kind of thing. Or I think I may have actually put in buff again with that. So, you know, you can use like either that Iroko one, or I could, you know, or this one is good as well. It's pretty close. Yeah, that's from AK Interactive 3rd Generation paints. So yeah, it's got a little axe in there. Nifty little details. A lot of them have got patches, you know, patch on the elbow. Like they've seen a bit of action, obviously fighting monsters, vampires and werewolves and whatever else. Yeah, so there's the two French characters. So there's just a selection of characters here from the different packs. And then we've got sort of more peninsula themed dudes. We've got there we go. So we've got a British rifleman there. I like him, full of character. As you know, as I say, they're kind of chunky characters, but they do look cool. So yeah, my rifle green for that, I did a bit of, I'll sort of over my normal light grey undercoat, I did a bit of washed in a bit of sort of black ink mixed with express medium just to round some of the darker recesses, just to get a bit of extra shadow before I went in and put my base colour down of, I think I used German camouflage dark green. Let me just check that. Yeah, German camo dark green from Vallejo Model Colour was what I used as the basis for the rifle, and green on this one. And obviously black facings, green tuft. Yeah, nice sort of bit of weathering at the knees. He's got a bit of a patch on that knee. He's got a patch up on his shoulder. So seen a bit of action. Yeah, a blondie, but I've just given him a subtle bit of sort of 5 o'clock shadow sort of look as well. And this rugged looking character here, this is a Spanish sort of Spanish guerrilla fighter. That's how I sort of see him. But he's got himself hold of a cuirass. But it's really cool how they've got like claw marks down the front of the cuirass, like scratched in, like he's been attacked by a werewolf or something with very supernaturally strong claws or something is torn into his cuirass. And he's got a silver cross hanging there. And he's also got his wooden cross with his rosary down in his other hand there, and some more crosses in his pocket. Oh, they're crazy miniatures. And some little details, some rope underneath, and his water bottle there. Nice pack, and these look like torches ready to be lit up, flaming brands, ready for firing up. He's got his little sort of Spanish rosette with the red and the white there on his, yeah, and his short sort of blunderbuss type weapon. Yeah, pretty cool. Good fun. And finally, I've got some Napoleonic era Russian types. Now, this female figure, I'm not sure. I couldn't see her in the packs on the North Star web page, but I may have missed something. She looks like she belongs. But anyway, my customer asked me to paint her up as if I understood him right, and I reread it a few times, as a Russian sort of character. So I painted her up, rather than paint her in Russian green or anything. I actually looked up in my book, Borodino book, with has lots of uniform plates in it, and found the uniform for, I think it's Russian Guard Hussars or something. And I thought, oh, that's got some lovely colours on it. And, you know, the contrast of the red and the blue gave her a blonde hair, and she's got the darker busby and I just thought that looks quite cool. Quite a nice combo. Again, realms of fantasy. I don't know why she's there, what she's up to, why there are female hussars getting around the place, but it's a fantasy game, so, you know. And then the middle guy is basically, he's a guard Cossack, or at least, you know, a Cossack officer. Probably a Cossack officer. One of the better equipped Cossack units. He's got sort of silver epaulets and stuff. Nice sort of sky blue sash. Rather snazzy looking. And this fella, this is actually a Russian Jaeger, but it's from the earlier period of the Napoleonic Wars. When the uniform change was, it was prior to 1812 anyway, that they changed uniform and Shako design as well. They still were clinging to sort of almost like a top hat, except it doesn't seem to have much brim on the side. There's mainly brim at the front and the back, but a different design. And also the earlier uniforms were not as dark a green as, say, the British rifle green, or the later Jaeger Russian Jaeger uniform became much more of the typical dark Jaeger green. The earlier uniforms for the Russian Jaegers, when they had these type of Shakos, were more of a grass green. So I've painted him up like that. The North Star website had him in a darker green, but I did a bit of looking up and at the uniform, trying to figure out what was what, and it does appear that the green was a lighter, more grassy green colour, rather than the really dark Jaeger green that came later. So yeah, he's interesting as well. It's quite cool. It's got some patch on the knee down there. Again, with the beards, you know, maybe been in the field for a while. Like I said, I don't know the backstory. I'm not sure what this object under here is precisely. It may be a lantern, a dark lantern or something like that. It looked like on the North Star website that it was painted in wood. I'm not 100% sure, but it could still be a lantern, or it may be meant to be something else. Maybe it's a water bottle, I don't know. But anyway, I think the wood colour gets away with most things there. Well, as a colour, I don't know. You wouldn't really want your lantern made of wood. It would catch fire. But yeah, again, he's got a little hand axe down here as well. So he's got the rosette there on his Shako with the yellow, the black, silver button in the centre, and they had little green circles in their pom-poms sort of thing. Anyway, that was whatever. It's nice to have those little details when you're you know, I got to look up in some of my Napoleonic books and a bit of online and check out the what extra details I could find. So yeah, there we are, guys. So a real assortment, but great fun to be painting some Napoleonic characters again. Yeah, I don't think I could come at painting a whole huge army, but to paint small amounts, whether it's for a game like I don't know, sharp practice or something like that, and where you're sort of painting smaller units, or you're painting for skirmishy sort of size thing, you know, quite good fun. But as I'm sort of not a really fast assembly line style painter. I mean, I do stuff in assembly line, it's kinda, but it's a much smaller amounts, and I tend to paint more individual character models. So yeah, there we go. There they all are. So yeah, if you've got any questions, please leave comments below. I'm always happy to try and answer any questions, as long as I can remember what paints I used. Again, apart from what I've mentioned to, I didn't write, as you know, as normal. I don't tend to write notes. Occasionally I might jot something down if it strikes me as remarkable that I've stumbled upon something. Yeah, don't usually write notes, but if it's reasonably close to when I was painting them, I can hopefully remember what I used. So I tend to just go by eye. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. The images will follow after, and thanks so much for watching. I think I'm back to in my queue. I think I'm probably going to go back to some Dark Age stuff again. I think some Irish elites and stuff like that for the Dark Ages. So yeah, so you're getting a bit of a mixture of late, but I hope it's all of interest. As I say, I'm mainly my focus on the hobby is pretty much painting mostly, and you know, and the history as well. Yeah, so if you've got any questions, sing out. Yeah, I've had a new wet palette arrive. That's been good. Been giving that a test run. It's one of those new red grass jobbies. I only got it because I had was gifted some money. It's not something I would normally lash out and buy, but I actually pre-ordered it way back in October last year, so that's arrived. I got the XL size one, and yeah, it's good. Yeah, been really pleased with it so far. So hopefully that will see good service over the years. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the next time. On the next one, when hopefully there'll be some Dark Age stuff to share. Bye for now.